Hello! Welcome back to my channel. First, I want to start off this video by just saying thank you to everybody who has viewed my last videos, who's liked them, and yeah, just thank you. If you have not subscribed yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. You guys are not going to want to miss any of the future episodes. We have some great things coming in the future, such as plan with me videos and days of my life, working, all of that great stuff. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my vlog so far. If you haven't done that either, make sure to go see the link in my description for maryaWhite.com and make sure to go sign up for those. Yeah, I'm just so happy with all of the people that have joined this community so far and who have been supporting me and reading every post, seeing all the videos, and giving me great feedback. So yeah, so just thank you. But anyway, today's video I was going to talk about some must-listen to podcasts, some of the podcasts that I'm loving right now in January of 2021. So you know what, let's just jump right into that. Okay, to state the obvious, as you guys can probably tell, I don't have anything on my pillows right now, and that is because they're in the wash. So let's just not look back there. I did write a blog post recently about my must-listen to podcast as well, so make sure to go check that out because it's going to go more into depth than kind of what I'm going to do here, and it has some other great recommendations, so make sure to go check that out. Again, the link is always in my description, maryaWhite.com. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about podcasts because I love them. Discovered that listening to them on the way to work, when you're getting ready in the morning, when you want to unwind, when you just want to pass time, it's like the best feeling ever. So if you guys haven't gotten into podcasts yet, make sure to go at least try one out. I'm sure they have a category that you guys will like. I also just have my notes on my computer here, so that's probably why you're going to see me kind of look up and down. But yeah, anyway, podcasts, these are the ones I'm going to be giving you suggestions of. They're great for like content wise, they bring a lot of value, they make you laugh, they just are everything and anything that you guys would like, I would think. But yeah, so if you haven't listened to a podcast, here's where you can find them. You can find them on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, really just anywhere and everywhere. You could just Google like podcasts and I'm sure something will come up. There's many different categories of podcasts, so to name a few, there's news, there's comedy, there's pop culture, there's business, true crime, education, sports, health, like everything. Whether you want to laugh, whether you want to just pass time or learn something new, there's definitely going to be something. And if you can just do the search bar and say you're feeling like true crime that day, you can search like crime or like forensics or, you know, missing cases, like anything, and something will pop up. So I'm going to go into a couple of my recommendations. So the first one is The Daily. So The Daily is a podcast from the New York Times. So this is like a quick one. This is about like 20 to 30 minutes. And it talks about like the biggest news stories that's going on in the world right now, and you get it 5 days a week. So I like to listen to this like when I wake up in the morning, getting ready. Sometimes on my drive to work, but usually like before that. And it just kind of keeps me updated with what's going on right now, and it just learn something new every podcast. This one is the Joe Rogan Experience. So this one is hosted by Joe Rogan himself, and it's just great for hearing some interesting interviews with really just the most interesting people. So they have everybody on there from like Kanye West to Miley Cyrus to Bernie Sanders. Like, it's just like anything and everything. And these episodes are about like 3 hours long, so like if you have a long drive or you want to listen to it when you're driving into work, you'll probably need like the whole week to do that, or just a lot of time. But they're just really interesting. You definitely learn something new in every episode. They have, as I said, like so many people. They have like people from sports, they have people from like politics, or like people that are like abducted from aliens, like just the craziest stories. So it's definitely interesting, so I definitely recommend that one. That one right now you can only really find on his YouTube or on Spotify. Next one is The Skinny Confidential, Him and Her. So this is another great podcast if you just want to learn something new, listen to some great interviews. We talk a lot about skincare, which I love, and they just have really anything and everything. So they talk about topics such as business, again, skincare, relationships. It's just very entertaining, very informative, and it's just really a great podcast to just kind of like have time go by and really like you're learning without learning. Like if you can understand what I'm saying, like it doesn't feel like you're learning, you're just like listening to. Next is the Bellas podcast. So this one is from the Bella Twins, and I just love their show. I love like just everything about them. Their book that came out, and so of course I figured I was gonna love the podcast, but it's just another one where it's just great to pass the time, and it comes out every Wednesday, so it's kind of like that midday slump, and then that comes out, and you're like, oh, okay. It's just funny, it makes you laugh, you learn something new again, and they have great interviews, and you just learn a lot, like, about their life, a lot about, like, being an entrepreneur, about business, all that great stuff. The next one is Chicks in the Office. This one is a Barstool one, and it's more about, like, pop culture and entertainment, and what's kind of going on in that like type of genre. So they will have interviews with like actors or musicians or like somebody that's like just releasing a book or a movie, like something like that. But yeah, they just fill you in anything and everything about pop culture, and it just keeps you up to date with what's going on, like with celebrities, news, music, and shows. So it's just another one that helps pass the time, and it makes you laugh, you learn something without feeling like you're learning, and it's just very entertaining. Next one is Crime Junkie, and I love this one. Love this one. We all know about true crime. I mean, I went to school for forensics, but this one is hosted by Ashley and Britt. And they go over different crimes that have happened, and they just make it entertaining for you to like learn like what happened. They kind of like tell a story, so it's almost like you're watching a show but you're listening. So it's kind of just going through like all of the recordings, all of the findings, like the case studies, like everything. So they do like high-known cases as well as ones that you probably have never heard of before. And it's really interesting. So definitely go check that out. This one is The How of Business. So this podcast kind of just talks about the ins, the outs, everything that you need to know about starting a small business. So like their logo says, start, run, grow a small business. So it talks about business marketing, entrepreneurial traits and ideas. So it's like if you're thinking of starting a small business or like starting anything, I really recommend to listen to this podcast because you learn so much, like where to start. Okay, now you need to market. Okay, now you need to talk to people, like everything that you think you know, this will just go way more in depth and kind of tell you like step by step, okay, this is what you need to do, or maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Like, it's just very informative. And the last one that I'm going to recommend is Forensic Files. So we all know that show. So it's basically like the show, like audio, but it's a podcast. So it's like going again through all the recordings, just telling the story of like all these cases that has happened, and it's just very, very interesting. This one's about like 20 to 30 minutes, so it's not that long. So it's definitely doable for like driving to work or like doing the dishes or something. But yeah, if you like true crime, I definitely recommend that one. But that is all. So I hope you guys like these recommendations and check some of them out. Let me know how you guys comment. What is your favorite podcast to listen to? Down in the comments below. And please make sure to subscribe to this channel as well as to my blog. Again, the link will be in the description always.